Hello everyone, I am Reading Hound Zero, and today we're going to be doing our second independent comic review. Our first one being Starlight Cats. And this will start a new series, hopefully, that I'll be doing every Wednesday, where I will be reviewing one independent comic a week for a Wednesday video. And our first book is, of course, going to be ISOM #1. As you can see, the beautiful cover on the screen, and one of the pages we'll be looking at, which it has all the lettering, it has all that stuff, but this page has been shown, so there's not really any spoilers here. It's been shown off plenty of times. I will say that I love the perfect. I like this perfect intro to Eric thanking the fans and showing all the beautiful names of all the people that worked on this book. I also enjoy the fact that there's like a side story at the end that shows off more characters and the old classic, quote of, we will win. And also the fact that at the end of the book, as he said, he's in here, hold on. Where is it? Here. Right at the end here, you've got the Ripperverse Code of Ethics at the back, just like he said in every single book. I also got him saying, respect the source material, as most comic weirdos do not do nowadays, or movie people don't do nowadays. Respect the source material. We have the Ripperverse Code of Ethics that is said to be in every single book that comes out. I do appreciate those little things from a creator, and of course you've seen ISOM in the suit as well. This will be a review, though, that does contain spoilers, but I will start off with a non-spoiler review and just kind of give my thoughts on the entire comic itself as a whole. And of course, before we do all that, I'd like to say thank you for everyone who's been here, subscribed, and yes, we will win. And also, hit the like button if you liked the video. Comment below what you think about all this. Subscribe for more content, and like I said, this will become a series every Wednesday. Probably the next book will most likely be either Blade Devil or Inglorious Rex. So I will start with the non-spoiler review of the comic. I would say it's a great introduction to the hero of Avery Soulman, aka ISOM. A great explanation as to what excepts are. All the different characters are all unique in their own way. You can kind of determine all their powers. We are introduced to every single character that is currently on this Ripperverse Comics shirt. Every single character on this shirt is introduced in this book. You get a great understanding of who ISOM is, who ISOM becomes, comes back, from being just a simple farmer, and he becomes ISOM once again, picks up the suit from an underground facility of a friend. We do end up finding out who the person is, who the family friend is that his sister asked him to find. Darren Fontano is the bad guy. You would think he is. He hires the except named Santuan for hire, because he's like essentially a bounty hunter. We do get a little bit of information about the Alpha Core. We get introduced to Yaira. Go Yaira. I'm Team Yaira right now. She's pretty good. She's pretty godlike. ISOM is not the self-insert. He's not any kind of Mary Sue. He does get, he does have his faults. He does have his flaws. He does get beat down. He does pick himself back up, eventually win. And he takes up the moniker of ISOM once again because he has to take care of the city, essentially. And we also get a side story at the end with a bunch of other characters. Basically, I think future books will talk about these characters. These kind of like godlike beings. They're on the shirt. I won't tell you who it is because this is in the spoiler section. But basically, that's my overall general review of this. The storytelling was really good. The art is very good. The fact that the Code of Ethics is there is great. The fact that he's going to always respect the source material, and this is a great launching pad as originally promised that it would be for this Ripperverse universe or whatever comic verse it's going to be. So if you want to stay for spoilers, you can. If not, end the video here. Come back later, maybe after you've read the book. But, now we're going to get right into it in the next 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so we're going to go through the pages here on the right side. So, as we already know from the synopsis, he does get a call from the family friend. The family friend is a woman named Jasmine who's been working with Darren Fontano. And we find out, as we go through, that's the first part of the book here. We're going to go through this here. This is the part where the Alpha Corps gets called in. There's an attack coming from, Yaira's attacking citizens. The Alpha Corps seems to be this type of like special force that they call in if the cops can't handle it. They have the special force called the Alpha Corps that deals with exceps when the regular police cannot deal with them. And of course, we're introduced to Yaira here, where she's kind of terrorizing the city here. And in comes the Alpha Corps to deal with her. They get their ass beat by Yaira because she's very powerful, it seems. And of course, we go through a point where ISOM or Avery Soman leaves his farm life, heads over to where Darren Fontano is, his club, confronts him, beats down a bunch of his bodyguards, and eventually he gets to the point where he's fighting off against Santuan, who is a hired bodyguard, is also an except, seems to have super strength. He kind of beats down ISOM, and afterwards, he throws ISOM basically across from where you're at, crashes into Yaira. They crash down into the ground. Yaira doesn't know who he is, saying he's like this undercover dude. She kind of gives him, beats him down as well. Right after Santuan beats him down, sends him crashing down into a car, and he becomes unconscious and gets super injured. The Alpha Corps essentially bring him to the hospital, where she eventually leaves, gets some new clothes, and then he ends up meeting up with his sister. He catches up with his sister, meets her somewhere, and she tells him, like, listen, you shouldn't keep going and going back to finding Jasmine. He says, yes, I'm going back to Darren Fontano, and I'm finishing this off, figuring out where Jasmine is. And eventually, he ends up running into her when he goes back to visit Darren Fontano's club, to which he has yet another, set of beatdowns. Beats down the same goons that he beat down the first time he went to Fontano's club, and has to have yet a second fight again with Santuan, to which eventually he ends up, running up against the wall, charging around Santuan, making him break through the wall, eventually defeating him, in which he has to run. Avery eventually has to run away because the cops are coming. He doesn't want to get caught. So essentially, after he goes back to his sister's apartment, ends up, hanging out with his niece, and they end up discussing matters. He basically tells her that they found Jasmine. She's underground doing something crazy with Darren Fontano, and he now says to her basically he needs to take back up his old moniker. He goes back to his farm, tells his people that he's going to be away for a while because of course he's going to go back to his old ways. Meets up with an old friend that ran a factory. I'm guessing he kind of worked there, and they have like its underground warehouse where he eventually tells him, like, I need the suit. It has to be able to resist fall damage. He has his old suit. He goes back and says, yes, the suit still fits, and that's essentially how the comic ends. And that is, I would say, once again, the comic is great. Has great storytelling. I didn't want to get too much in the spoilers. I actually want people to purchase the comic, feel the nice quality paper, like read the book, get invested in this universe like I am. I'm definitely invested and hyped for ISOM 2. I'm hoping this gets done sooner than later because I'm very hyped to read ISOM 2. Because I want to learn more about Yaira. I want to learn more about ISOM. I want to, learn more about his powers. It seems like he has kind of this like super reflexes, kind of like an athlete. He's got super strength, essentially. You got Santuan, that's super strength. I want to learn more about the Alpha Course powers and the other characters that are introduced. We got about 1 page or so of two of the characters, and we didn't learn much about them. But I got the cards, of course, and the main villain is not introduced. However, at the end, after we kind of got this kind of thing that Marvel does with movies where they have the end credit scene. We got an end credit kind of storyline at the end where with a new character named Norfolka and another character named what's his name? We had 2 characters. Well, we had 2 characters introduced. I just can't find. I don't think it actually has the name here in the book. But let me see. No, doesn't have the name here. Oh, but essentially they are gods. Basically 2 gods that are sensing an imminent danger that's going to affect the city and take over and kind of destroy everything. So they're preparing themselves for a great evil that's coming to essentially take over Earth. And we know, I believe that's Dokuman, and that's kind of how the book ends. And it kind of just says that there's going to be a side story with this character essentially, and of course they have advertisement for his band backwards. It's really cool. It's really nice. And that's my review for ISOM issue number 1. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Anybody who's new to the channel that sees this video, I hope that maybe they'll go to riververse.com and purchase this comic and read it for themselves. It was a lot of fun. It feels great, like paper-wise, like I said. The artwork is great by both Cliff Richards and Gabe Al-Taib, coloring and art. So thank you guys for checking out this review. Appreciate it very much. Like I said, if you like it, like the video if you like it, comment below what you think, subscribe for more, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.